Hi, my lovely ladies of my beautiful and blessed kingdom. I'm so glad you're back, and it's Monday. It's Monday, and it's tutorial day. So, this is the look that we're going to do today. And if you want to know how we do that, then just stay tuned because we're getting right into that. Besides that, I just want to say that I'm so glad you're here and I truly love every single one of you. You're the best subject of my kingdom. And I'm so glad to be here doing this for you. And it's truly an honor. And I'm gushing, so I'm just going to stop and get to work, okay? So the tutorial is coming right up. I hope you enjoy it and see you in a few seconds. A few weeks ago, I want to say, one of my lovely ladies commented on one picture that I uploaded that months and months ago. It must have been the beginning of the year. Anyway, so she tagged me in the picture and or sent it to me and said, please make a tutorial on that one. So I have to warn you, it's going to be big. And I remember that day that I wore that look, and I got a lot of compliments, but I also know that it was heavy. So be aware of that, and if you want, just change it to whatever you want and like downsize the whole thing. The other thing is that last week one of you contacted me and said, please Leorah, can you just please show your shaper in a video? So that's why I'm like this. I just quickly threw on one of the scarves that I'm going to wear later because I wanted to share with you how my shaper looks. So I've already said many times before that I have a very simple no-name shaper, and that's how it looks. So basically it has this velvety part that is like the anti-slip part. It sort of grabs onto the hair and holds it in place. And it has that volumizing part here. And from the inside there is a little pocket that you can open. It has like little buttons here. And there is a little pocket inside with stuffing, sort of. And you can like remove it when you wash it, and you can add to it or take stuffing out. Let me just close it up again. And I think it comes across on camera much bigger than it really is because, as you know, if you've watched previous videos, I'm always using another pashmina to go on top of it before I even start the tutorial or the look. So, and I do that like on a regular basis, even if I'm not doing tutorials, just because, I don't know if you can see this, yeah, this here, I don't like that, and it stays like this when it's on. There is that bump, and I like my looks to be a little bit more like smooth, so that's why I put the pashmina on top, and then when I'm wrapping the longer parts around, I keep them just here so they sort of balance that whole thing out. So that's the only reason, really. Yeah, so I don't know if that helped now anyone. Maybe I should mention this part here where it closes. So this comes with buttons. And I actually took the buttons off and sewed them on, I think sewed them on much tighter because the whole thing was way too big for me. So I think they were here at the end of this flap, and I put them here. Yeah, and then I just pull it on tightly and button it up, and this is how it holds. So that's it. There's not really anything else to say to this thing, and I don't know. It's nothing special. I'm using it because I'm using it. There's really nothing special about it. But you wanted to see it, so I showed you. So now I'm just going to quickly go off camera, put on my shaper, and then we start the tutorial. Okay, I'm back, and I put on my shaper, and the scarf that I was wearing before is basically today my basic pashmina, which it's not a pashmina, but it doesn't matter. It serves the same purpose. Okay, so I just wrapped it on, put it on and wrapped it over and tucked it in. Very simple, nothing special. So now I just want to quickly include that picture that I was talking about. That is the source for the look today. And of course, I'm going to use different colors, and none of my looks ever look exactly the same, even if I would recreate it with exactly those same scarves, because everything is just a flow and nothing is set in stone. But it's sort of that idea that I'm recreating, and maybe it helps you to create something out of that, make it your own thing. And anyway, so this week I'm going to try to say it right. My faithful cactus is assisting me because every single week I've been stumbling about this word. Okay, so let's start with this. This is a square tichel, and you don't need to use a square one. You just need something that is large enough to cover that bump. So if you have a smaller bump, then you can just use a normal rectangular scarf. For me, the width is not wide enough to cover the whole length till the end here. So that's why I'm using this one. I'm folding it up in a triangle, and I'm basically just using it as the color pop basis for the other scarves that will actually create the pattern. So you don't, like I said, you don't have to use a scarf like that. It's just that I like those colors, and that's why I wanted to use it. Okay. So I've mentioned before, because my volumizer is, or my shaper is very, very large, I always have problems. Like if I were to try to tie it like this, I cannot get these, I cannot get it tight. You know, it's just, it doesn't work for me. If you have any suggestions how to make that work, please, please let me know, because I don't want to go this like that. I don't want to fold it in. So I really don't know. If you have a suggestion, I'm very open for suggestions. So anyway, what I found out works better, it's not perfect, but it works better. Just adjust this for a second. Okay. If I set it here a little bit further to the back, and also make the knot not in my neck, like down here, but further up. So that helps a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. But like I said, you might not have that problem at all if you're wearing a smaller shaper. So I'm just binding it once in the back. And then I just want to get rid of basically of all of this, because it doesn't belong into the look. So that's why it's much easier if you were to use a rectangular scarf instead of a square, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now I've just pulled the long tail in the middle. I've pulled that into the knot to make it smooth. I hope it looks smooth because I'm not seeing it. And now to get these out of the way, I don't really like it to push it in here, because it's sort of like some people would now push it all in here in the back. And for me, that doesn't really work. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right for me, because I feel like I'm loosening my shaper by doing that. So I like to have that snug, tight feeling. And I know that a lot of people have contacted me and asked me, what do? Don't you get headaches? And isn't it hot? Yes, it is hot. And right now it is like 1,000,000 degrees here. Whew. But, but I don't mind the heat, and I don't mind something to be very, very close to my head. I honestly, let me just quickly include this. I always imagine just someone putting like warm, blessing hands on me. This is the feeling that I get when I'm wearing a head covering. I don't know if you've ever had the feeling when you had a very, very bad headache and you go to your mom, like when you were a child, and you went to your mom and she just put her hands on you like this. This is the feeling that I get when I'm wearing my head coverings. So for me, it's not an issue, the tightness or the heat or the anything. For me, this is comfort. So that's why, you know, if you have problems in that regard, then you have to make your necessary adjustments. I cannot, unfortunately, help you with that because I don't have that experience. I almost never get headaches at all. And yeah, so sorry. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is basically just simply pull those loose ends up and push them in here, which will also, in addition to everything else, help me with that stupid bump that I have from that shaper. Okay, so I'm just moving that up here and push it in wherever it fits. Same on the other side. It does not need to be super, super perfect. First of all, because of the strong pattern of this scarf, it's so wild, that pattern, that it really doesn't matter. Nobody sees that it's not supposed to be this way. And even so, like even if it were a single color, a unicolor scarf, what we will do with those scarves will basically also cover up a lot of what's going on here. That's why I like to use something that is bold underneath so it doesn't disappear. But on the other hand, if you use a single color scarf for here, then the pattern we're creating with this will show up better. So whatever you know, wherever your preference is. So let me just very quickly show you the back. So this is basically how it looks now. And okay, so let's continue. Now you can start adding the other things. Another word of advice, and I know I've said it before and I don't want to be repetitive, but I think I do have to be repetitive. Okay, so orange on its own, for example, is not the best color for fair skin. Also even this green, it's not very strong and it makes me look washed out and palish. So what I want to do, the first thing I put down is this color. I think you can totally see the difference and it just really totally makes sense. Try to use strong colors around your face, at least as a frame. Yeah, look at it as a frame for your face because you do not want to make your face disappear. You want your face to stand out. This is where your soul is. This is where your spark is. You know, that's what it's all about. Like, for me. If you have different values or different reasons to cover or whatever, do whatever you want. It's just my opinion and my recommendation for anyone who wants to hear it. Okay, so that's my recommendation. Put at least, even if you have very, very muted colors in the back, find something that is a little bit stronger or a little bit darker to put around your face, like that, what is right there where it hits your skin. Okay, and so this here we're just going to put simply in one line with both sides hanging down more or less equally. We'll put it down here and basically covering up all that mess and binding it in the back just one time, simple knot. Okay, so that's how it looks. Okay, now, okay, we started from the top down, right? So now with the other two scarves, we're going to start from the bottom up. basically placing it around the back of your head, in the back of your head, on the back of your head. You have to help me with the English. I really don't know how to say it. I hope you still understand what what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now we're going up and choose one side that you want to use, either this or that. I'm going for this side now. So basically move it up to that direction, and those two ends should be still around about the same length. Then you basically make a cross, then then you make another cross, like you cross it over twice. So you have basically a loop here, and this part that came from here will also go back down here. Okay, this part came from this side and will also go back this side. Okay, and then you just place it so a little bit further apart, like not very close. You could of course do that too, but I'm placing it up like this, so there is space so one can see what is going on underneath. And then I'm just taking it down in the back and tying it with a knot, and that's it. And the same thing we'll do with this one. Just this time I'm going to choose this side. Okay, so now you just have to be a little bit smart in how to place it so it doesn't cover up everything of the green. And I'm doing the same thing. The side that came up here will also go back down on that side. So you can see that for this look you really need a big volumizer or very, very thin scarves. You can, of course, if you're going for a look that, you know, with a smaller volumizer, then you can just look thinner. Then you can just look thinner. I meant you just need to use thinner scarves. Okay, so now we just bind it in the back, somewhere in the back. Okay. I'm always then trying to pull out the volume part of the shaper a little bit in order to, like, I don't know, it just feels more balanced then, but you just have to feel how it feels on your head. Okay, but now you can see we have this pattern here, we have that pattern here, we have that pattern here. So of course you can always move stuff around and expose other you know, colors underneath to feature them more. Like, you can really, really play with this. So yeah, so that's how it goes. And I think in the picture, and the thing is, I show you the picture again. Back then, the scarves were absolutely no issue for me. Like, that's why back then I did not take close-up of the scarves, and I did not really make a point of taking pictures from the back or from the side. If I did, then it was just by accident, because that's how I wanted to feature the look. But so that makes it a little bit more difficult for me to recreate stuff that has been so long ago. Because a lot of stuff has happened, a lot of development from my side has happened in that whole regard, just because of the interest that I've been getting. Like, people have been so interested in my wrapping, so so that's why I started to pay more attention to it. Before, I was just doing stuff and getting out of the house. So anyway, so I think that turned out nice. So in that picture, I think I let these scarves just hang down. because there is no more room on the top of my head to really, I don't know, maybe I could try. Let's try, just for the fun of it, okay? So let's put that here in the very end. That could actually look very nice. Let's just try what it does. And that's basically what I do with all my looks, you know? I'm not very strict in that regard, that if I see a tutorial or if I see a picture that I think, whoa, it has to be that way. For me, it's just, let's say, a nudge in that direction, and I take it as an inspiration, but that is really all it is. And then I am just playing with it and trying to do my own thing. So that's why I'm really, like, I'm not getting stressed out about these things at all. Oh, I really like that color combination. It has this fall vibe already, like a nice, beautiful, sunny day in the fall. Okay, so I actually managed to push this in. I'm going to show you from the back. I don't know how it looks, so please have mercy with me. So I think this is really, really cute. I'm going to let this hang out. And because this scarf, we tied it from the top down, which means it did hang down much longer in the back. That's why I pulled it up. And I think that's really, really cute. I think so. It's amazing. I'm always excited. Like, I don't even realize how pretty stuff is till I've actually finished it. Yeah, so I like this look very much. I really had intended for it to hang down longer, honestly. And I was gonna suggest that you could even then braid it down and like have a nice thick braid. But this is actually very playful and very sweet, and I like it, and I'm gonna go with that. So let me just show you how it looks from here, and how it looks from here, and how it looks from here. Of course, as always, I'm going to also include a picture of my completed outfit, so you see how it corresponds to the rest of my outfit. Because it looks probably a little bit wild. The stripes and the everything is like all over the place. And yeah, that's me. I'm all over the place. But it actually makes sense if you see my whole outfit from the front and from the back. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention, I just noticed also that my knots are not exactly in the middle of like the back of my head, which for me, it doesn't even make a difference. I could also just as well put it, like pull it up a little bit to here, and it would just also be cute. So, you know, it doesn't, like, for me, it doesn't really matter, all of these things. It's just, it adds whatever you do, whatever you decide to do, it's just, you cannot make a mistake, you know? It just adds. Like, whatever you do, it just makes it different. And don't look at it as, well, I didn't do it exactly like that and I did do it wrong. And no, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. It's just tickles, it's just scarves. Nothing is wrong, okay? So you're doing fine. Just try it out, and enjoy it, you know? Just enjoy it. It's fun. That's basically, you know, let's have fun. There is one other thing that I do every single day when I have finished my wrapping, and that is I put on perfume. And you can take that or leave it. I just want to mention it because I love to smell good. And after all, this whole channel is beauty and lifestyle. And I think smelling good sort of corresponds with both of that. Um, just going to show you what I'm using right now. This is Lady Million from Paco Rabanne. And it's almost finished. And I've been using that every single day for something like 3-4 months. And that's usually what the time it takes for me to finish a perfume. And I am very much in love with this. but I'm also looking forward to use my next one. I've always, even when I was a teenager, I've always loved the more mature fragrances. So anyway, which is funny because my sister, who is something like 13 years older than me, she is very into the fruity and youthful and sporty kind of smells, and I have worn very, very mature and heavy fragrances all my life. Anyway, so this is what I'm wearing right now, and I'm just gonna put that on, and then I'm also putting it on my scarves. You don't have to do that if you don't like it. I personally, I enjoy it also once I'm packing them away. After wearing them, that like my whole scarf collection smells like a perfume section in the drugstore. So if you don't like that, don't do it. But for me, it's part of being beautiful to smell beautiful. And I think it is very unpleasant if there is a person that looks good, or even if the person doesn't look good or whatever. But not smelling good is like really icky for me. Like, I don't know. There was someone in my life who always said women love with their noses and their ears. Now, I don't know, I don't remember who that was, but I think women are very sensual beings. And for me, at least, tasting and smelling and hearing, it's all very, very important, and it all adds to the whole picture. And of course, you cannot smell how glorious I smell right now. So anyway, if you're ever in a drugstore again and you want to just test this one, it's Lady Million from Paco Rabanne. I don't know if they sell it in drugstores. I guess they do. My husband brings me stuff like this when he goes overseas, so he buys it in duty free. And of course, he does not take the chance to buy something that I have not pre-approved. so, so I always test them when I get around to it and write it down. And whenever he goes again on one of his business trips, and he's anyway gonna look for a gift for me, so that's my price. I very quickly want to also include it, like a tiny bit of kind of a story time, because I've been asked, why did you start rapping? So for Jewish women, that is basically what happens when you get married. You start rapping, or you start covering your hair in general. Some people, of course, don't. You know, there is a big, big range of stuff going on. There are people who wear wigs to cover their hair. There are people who wear nothing. There are people who wear hats. There are people who wear just headbands and show the rest of their hair. There are a million, 10 million kinds of ways to wear scarves, and different styles, different style of hats, different style of everything. There is a whole big range to choose from, and I did not go for scarves in the very beginning. When I started to cover my hair on the day after my wedding, I wore a knitted little thing. It looked like an egg warmer with all my hair showing underneath. And I had like very nice big curly hair, long hair. And so that's what I did. And for like more formal events, or like on Shabbat and more formal things, I would wear a hat. And I never felt good about it. But I married into a family where wearing a hat was the custom. And I didn't really have a custom of my own. So I basically went with that. And it took me something like 2 years to figure out where I belong and what I want to do. So I basically then went to covering my hair with a scarf. And that was very, very simple in the beginning. Just one scarf, and flipped up the ends and the main tail hanging down. And that's it. That's all I did for the longest time. And not wearing a shaper. I didn't even know that there is such a thing. So very innocent, very sweet, like, you know. And I also did not used to cover my hair all the time. I only covered when I was leaving my house. And I only started to cover my hair all the time when my oldest son got old enough to realize what I was doing. So one time he suddenly, like, I put on my scarf and he said, "Oh, we are going somewhere." And that is basically when I thought, do I like this, that he knows that I'm just doing it for the outside world? Like, I was a little bit not 100% happy about that. So then I started to cover more, and it sort of evolved from there. And then I noticed how much I love it, like that it doesn't bother me at all during the day. And like I said in the beginning, that for me, it always feels like I have these blessing hands of my mom right around my head. And I miss her so much because she lives like 4,000 kilometers away from me. And for me, this is comfort. And of course, there are all kinds of other reasons to cover your hair when you're Jewish or when you're Christian. I don't know. My following is probably very mixed. I hope you're very mixed. I want all of you. And you should all feel comfortable here. And you can feel free to tell me what your reasons are. I will go into more reasons maybe in a different video, because I realize I have been rambling on for way too long already. But yeah, so feel free to let me know what your background is and why you decided to cover your hair and how long you're doing it. I would really like to know. It would be very interesting to me. By the way, according to the views I'm getting, these wrapping tutorial videos are the most popular in my channel. So anyway, so I really do enjoy this look, and I hope you did enjoy too. And if you do, then give me a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider to subscribe. We have made a huge jump. We've made it over the 200. Basically, before I even released my last video where I said we were so close, before I even released it, we had hit the 200. So I'm so proud of you people. And I'm so happy. And I'm really, like, I just want to welcome you. If you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you. We're happy you're here. I hope you will enjoy every single video and the time that we're spending together. And right now that I'm filming this, we have 207 subscribers. And I can't believe it. It's just wonderful. And keep going, keep growing. So it's just truly, truly a huge blessing on my life, and I love it so, so much. So now that we have so many subscribers, and I've promised that weeks and weeks ago, my weight loss story is coming up on Thursday. So now that I'm publishing this, I will actually sit down and put down some notes. And I have a general idea how I want to do this. I think I want to first go into the weight gain story, because it sort of makes sense to do that. So you have the background information before I do the weight loss story. So that might all be in the same video. I just have to see how fast I'm talking. And I will include the pictures, some of them that I still have. There are not a lot of pictures from that time because obviously I was not very keen on being photographed, but there are some pictures that have been sent to me by family members who actually had a few pictures of that time. Anyway, with all that being said, Leorah's latest looks are coming right up. Please stay around for that. And I hope you enjoy it. And you can also follow me on my other social media. You find all the information in the description box. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I love hearing from you. Please be in touch. And there's a lot of stuff happening in my life, a lot of new stuff coming up shortly. So stay tuned for that. Let's just be on this journey together, and let's just be blessed by this. And if there are any looks you want to see, send me pictures of ancient head wraps or whatever you want to see. Just give me that nudge in that direction, and then I'm going to work with it and do something with it. And that's it. Leorah's latest looks is coming up. Till I see you again, right here, same space on Thursday for my weight loss story. Hugs and kisses. I truly love you. See you then. Bye.